I'm delighted to say that the lurgy which sapped my energy for 7 weeks is now gone, and I have just enjoyed another multi-day adventure with my bodyguard Jeff. I'm not sure what ailed me, but I suffered chronic fatigue, aches and pains, constant headache, sweats and sore throat for the duration, and the thought of going boating, never mind camping, just made me balk. I eventually went to the doc who arranged blood tests, which proved nothing unusual, simply because I feared it could be Lyme disease from all the tick bites in my last adventure. I heard nothing back, so no news is good news, and slowly things started to clear by themselves. So it looks like I still have a few adventures left in me yet, and you can be sure I will make the most of them. All my adventures start with a plan, which is generally based on the weather forecast. We intended starting on Tuesday morning, and the week's forecast was for light winds, overcast but mostly dry, up until Thursday when the winds would gradually increase until Storm Betty arrived on Friday and continued over the weekend, bringing wet, windy weather, which meant we really only had 3 good days away. I also print out the tide times, as I feel it is very important to know the state and direction of the tides at all times, especially when mooring the boats overnight. Armed with this info and leaving on high tide Tuesday morning and then returning on Thursday before the winds arrived, limited us to 2 nights camping in a range of around 150 miles, so we discussed options. We both happily agreed to head for the Ross of Mull and circumnavigate the Island of Iona, setting up camp halfway along Mull for both nights, which would save the effort of moving camp. Then travelling back on a Thursday morning, and our passage plan was complete. We launched in the early morning tide at Kelly's Pier to Knock, and then left cars and trailers at my house to save them littering the beach area. Jeff had his 4.3 metre XL Vanguard inflatable boat, powered by his 25 horsepower Suzuki outboard, while I was of course using a Quicksilver 420 aluminium hull inflatable, powered by my Yamaha 25 horsepower outboard. So both of us are very capable sea boats, which happily cruise at 16 miles per hour. We both carried 75 litres of fuel, which was plenty for a 130-mile round trip, leaving a third of the fuel for unseen issues or unplanned detours. We carried all our camping gear, food and water with us, again with plenty in reserve should we get stranded for a day or 2 longer than expected. It didn't take long to leave the sheltered waters of Loch and reach open sea. To pass a little time and make for a more interesting trip, I headed for the twin islands of Elan and Elan which are joined at the hip by a pebble beach bar. The plan being to stop for a coffee and give my drone its morning exercise. After a coffee, the drone was set loose.
We have liftoff.
Then it was back to the boats and heading on our way, crossing to Lismore and following its coast to the Lismore Lighthouse. From the lighthouse we crossed the entrance to the Sound of Mull, passing ladies rocking away to have a nosy at stately Buie Castle in the Island of Mull. Then we passed the William Black Memorial Lighthouse, built in 1900 by his friends at his favourite spot in Mull. William Black was of course a popular Scottish novelist. I had a quick squint around Loch before heading southwest along the lovely Mull coastline. We then turned into Loch Spelvey for a quick nosy. And it was a lovely day, but I wished the sun would shine in the glorious scenery to show it off to its best. Having seen enough, a 360-degree turn had us heading back for a stone beach near the loch entrance for a land and some lunch. All this boating was making us feel peckish. After a bite to eat, they let the drone loose again.
We have liftoff. Donny, you are the man. Flying your drone when you can. Way up high in the sky, a seagull view of the land below. Land below. Donny, you are the man. Flying your drone when you can. Way up high in the sky, a seagull view of the land below. Land below. And it's my delight to fly at this height, to see this wonderful sight of the land below. Land below. Donny, you are the man. Flying your drone when you can. Way up high in the sky, a seagull view of the land below. Land below.
Refreshed, relaxed and relieved, we jumped back into our boats for the last leg of the day, heading for Loch Buie and setting up camp. For me, it was also the most scenic part of the day's adventure, traversing the coastline below the high cliffs of southern Mull. cliffs keep increasing in grandeur and height until we reach the highest point at around 1,000 feet, right at the entrance to Loch Buie. We then turn into the loch and land at the old pier at the very head of the loch. After unloading the boats and setting up camp, I let the drone out for some more exercise.
We have liftoff. Donny, you are the man. Flying your drone when you can. Way up high in the sky, a seagull view of the land below. Land below, Donny, you are the man. Flying your drone when you can. Way up high in the sky, a seagull view of the land below. Land below, and it's my delight to fly at this high, to see this wonderful sight of the land below. Land below, Donny, you are the man. Flying your drone when you can. Way up high in the sky, a seagull view of the land below. Land below.
After some supper, I went for a walk to get my exercise. I thought of Albert the stowaway adder when I saw this sign. Albert made a brief appearance in my recent video of Jura. The Loch Buie estate really is a beautiful and peaceful place to chill out. Fallow deer feed in the fields. I stroll along a stone shore with lovely views over the loch until I reach Castle Moy, which I had been looking forward to seeing from a drone's eye perspective. It's not everyone that can sneak a peek at the top floors. Built in a beautiful situation in a rocky crag by the seashore, Moy Castle is a ruinous plain 15th century tower of 3 stories and a gabled garret. It has a flush crenellated parapet, open rounds which were once roofed over, crown 2 of the corners, while a cap house with a stair and a gabled watch chamber crown the others. The few windows are small. The entrance leads to the vaulted basement, which has a well in the floor. The hall would have been on the first floor with private chambers above. The tower was harrowed and a landing place survives just beside the castle. Part of the beach appears to have been cleared for a slipway. The tower is believed to have been built around 1450 by Hector MacLean. I believe the castle was abandoned in 1752 and has lain in ruins ever since. Having enjoyed my seagull view of the castle below, I headed back to the campsite where Jeff was sitting beside one of the silver birch logs he had brought. Not that we needed the heat, but it's always nice to sit by a fire, slurping beer, telling tales as the sun goes down. I then retired to bed, looking forward to going round Iona in the morning. That will be in part 2 of this video series, so thanks for watching.